Chris, I might switch from my phone to my PC. That shouldn't affect anything.
As long as you can get emails to your phone, that you can open it from. Could you hear me?
I can hear you fine.
Yeah,
Thanks.
as long as you receive this email to your phone as well,
Yeah.
then you can open the link from there. Then you're fine if you want to leave and come back.
Oh, no, it was, okay, thank you. I just having PC issues.
So we are live whenever we're live. We're good to go.
All right, I'm going to call to order the November 4th, 2020 Evesham Municipal Utilities Authority meeting. Please read the opening statement.
Adequate public notice of this meeting pursuant to the Open Public Meetings Act has been given by the Director of Finance, Deputy Executive Director of the Evesham Municipal Utilities Authority on October 30th, 2020 in the following manner. Emailing written notice to the Burlington County Times, Courier Post, and Central Record. Posting written notice on the official Evesham EMUA website. Filing written notice with the clerks of Evesham and Medford. This statement shall be entered into the minutes of this meeting.
Thank you. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, can I have a motion to approve the meeting minutes from the October 7th, 2020
Utilities Authority meeting?
So moved.
Second.
Right. My headset just died. Do we have a motion?
Yes.
Gamino, Al Lutner.
Here we go. I'm sorry, we have a motion and a second?
Yes.
Yeah. Nancy Gamino and Al Lutner.
Okay. Any questions, comments, additions or deletions?
No, sir.
Mr. Schmidt?
Aye.
Ms. Jamino?
Aye.
Mr. Lutner?
Hold on a second.
Aye.
Mr. Tenza?
Aye.
Mr. Waters?
All right, can you guys hear me?
Now,
Yes.
Yes.
Why can't I hear anybody here?
You hit your mute button.
All right, how's that?
Can you hear us?
We can hear you. Can you hear
Somebody
us?
speak so I can see if I can hear you.
We're all speaking.
We are
Yeah.
speaking.
Yeah, we're all talking.
Wrong here.
I'm not sure if.
All right, I'm here, everybody. I'm sorry. Okay, does anybody have any questions, comments, additions, or deletions?
Mr. Waters, you were asked to vote.
Oh, aye.
okay, thank you.
Sorry about that. All right, public comments, agenda items only. Do we have anybody in the queue, Chris?
We do not.
Okay, I'm going to close public comment. Financial Resolution 2020-134, payment of bills. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second? Second, Mike? Okay, does anybody have any questions?
regarding this agenda item? Yes, Lou.
Yeah, just actually, there are two related costs and just a question about them. On page 1 and page 9, there were two different contractors that we used for traffic control. for water main breaks. Were these related to ongoing projects, or was this just a break?
Oh, that was one project where one day we were able to use the contractor we have as a vendor. And the second day we were unable to acquire him. So we had, for paving that area, we had to acquire a different contractor. So it's the same job.
But these costs go against the project under which the water main break occurred, the project that was already been worked on?
That's correct.
Okay. That's what I was interested in. Thanks, Jeff.
All right, anyone else? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Schmidt,
Aye.
Ms. Jamino,
Aye.
Mr. Lutner,
Aye.
Mr. Tenza,
Aye.
Mr. Waters.
Aye. Resolution 2020-135, refunds, credits, and cancellations. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions on this item? No? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Schmidt, Ms. Jamino.
You're on
Aye.
mute, Mike.
I saw his lips move. You're on mute, Mike.
Aye.
Jamino,
Aye.
Mr. Lutner,
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Does that work, Chris?
Chris, we're not hearing you.
She wants you to say it like a pirate.
I'm not going there, Byron.
sorry, I'm having the same thing with my volume.
Okay. Resolution 2020-136, authorizing competitive contracting process for a cellular tower lease consultant.
No,
May I
wait,
have a motion, please?
You
Karen
skipped one,
Waters?
Ed.
you read 137, but you started with 136.
Oh, I'm sorry. Resolution 2020-136, authorizing advertisement for 2021 professional contracts. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Second. Okay. Does anyone have any questions on this agenda item?
No.
Okay, seeing none. Can I please call the roll? Sorry.
Mr. Schmidt,
Aye.
Ms. Jamino,
Aye.
Mr. Lutner,
Aye.
Mr. Tenza,
Aye.
Mr. Waters.
Hi. Okay, resolution 2020-137, authorizing competitive contracting process for a cellular tower lease consultant. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, who's got this one?
I do, Mr. Chairman. And actually, it'll be the same explanation for Resolution 2020-137, 149, and 150. But
Okay.
for the,
Do we want to do them as one block vote?
yeah, we could do that.
Okay,
Yep.
all right, so, does the person who moved it?
Commissioner Lutner,
Yes.
will you also give the motion for 137, 149, and 150?
Yes, I'll make that motion.
And Mr. Tenza, Commissioner Tenza.
Second.
Okay.
And real quick before we move, let me just read, 137 is the cellular lease consultant. 2020-149 authorizes competitive contracting process for an informational technology consultant. And resolution 2020-150 authorizes competitive contracting process for a Microsoft Dynamics Great Plains software support consultant. Okay, Laura?
For the past several years, we have included these positions to be awarded at the February reorganization meeting, along with the other professional contracts, although these really do not qualify to be awarded as professional contracts. So this year, we are requesting the use of competitive contracting rather than public bidding due to the specialized nature of these services. And if approved, the staff will prepare documents which will detail the methodology to be used to evaluate each proposal. And then once those documents are prepared, we will request authorization from the board at a near future meeting to advertise for proposals under competitive contracting. And with the plan to award those contracts at the February board meeting.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Laura? Okay, seeing none, let's call the roll.
Mr. Schmidt,
Aye.
Ms. Jamino,
Aye.
Mr. Lutner,
Aye.
Mr. Tenza,
Aye.
Mr. Waters.
Aye. Resolution 2020-138, authorizing entry into a joint funding agreement for water resources investigation with the United States Geological Survey in the amount of $7,440 for the operation and maintenance of recorders on groundwater wells in the Mount Laurel Winona Aquifer System. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, who's got that one?
This is something that we're required to do as required in our water allocation permit. We've been doing it since 1997, and the data is tracked by USGS and uploaded to the National Water Information System for public access. It's related to our ASR well system, well 1314.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Jeff?
I just have a quick question. Jeff, this measures the water levels in the wells?
Yes.
Okay.
The two wells that we monitor are, or that USGS monitors, one is located in the southern tip of Evesham, the other is located in Cherry Hill, but they're both in the same aquifer, and it monitors the groundwater level so that the impact of the ASR well can be understood.
Okay, thank you.
And what are the results showing, Jeff?
I haven't analyzed them because they are available on the National Water System Information website. I did look at it when we got this, when we got our most recent agreement, and the data was in the normal range, so seasonally adjusted. So it's been good, and actually it has been inching upwards, which is a good sign.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Is this,
Go ahead, Byron,
is
I'm
this
sorry.
the well? Is this the well that we're allowed to store some of our allocation?
Yes.
Okay. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Okay, anyone else? Mike? Okay. Okay, please call the roll.
Mr. Schmidt,
Aye.
Ms. Jamino,
Aye.
Mr. Lutner,
Aye.
Mr. Tenza,
Aye.
Mr. Waters.
Aye. Resolution 2020-139, authorizing award of contract through Omnia Partners National Cooperative Purchasing Program to Safeware Incorporated and Mallory Safety Supply in the amount of $9,987.29 to purchase camera installation and upgrade MVR unit at Elmwood Wastewater Treatment Plant. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Second, okay. Jeff? You're
Jeff, you're on
muted.
mute.
Jeff, you're muted.
If I can just step back and touch base on what Lou had asked me about the traffic control. The one
Sure.
particular item that he was asking me about on page 9 is extra duty solutions. That is required by the county for us to use police anytime we do work on county roads. So I misspoke, but we've had occurrences where we've had one day into the second day where we had to use one traffic company. We couldn't get them for the second day. So we had used that, but the one that Lou particularly asked me about, that is Extra Duty Solutions, which is when we have police officers on site.
No, I wasn't really concerned about the why. We've discussed the need when we're on county roads to have traffic control. I was just wondering if it was against existing project from a cost perspective. And if it wasn't against the specific project, how do we account for that cost? That's really where I was going.
All right, so the explanation of Resolution 2020-139, this is for the purchase of a multi-video recorders that will be installed in locations at the Elmwood Wastewater Treatment Plant to ensure the security of the authority's assets.
Jeff, are these going to be installed inside or outside?
Inside.
Inside, okay. Will they be pointed at doors, exit, entrance and exit doors, or? where
That's
are they going
correct.
to be? Okay. Does anyone have any questions?
Do we have any cameras in the outside areas?
Yes.
Okay, anyone else? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Schmidt?
Aye.
Ms. Jamino?
Aye.
Mr. Lutner?
Aye.
Mr. Tenza?
Aye.
Mr. Waters?
Aye. Resolution 2020-140, award under state contract in excess of $6,600 to Johnson Controls Fire Protection LLP in the amount of $10,909.05 to replace water motor gongs in the sprinkler system at Elmwood and Woodstream plants and replace failing smoke detectors. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Jeff?
Yes, this resolution is for the replacement and repairs of our fire protection systems at Elmwood and Woodstream wastewater treatment plants. The motor gongs are essentially the audible noisemakers, and they will also be tied directly to fire and emergency services.
Okay, does anyone have any questions?
What about Kings Grant plant? Is they're newer out there, won't need replacing, or?
That's correct. They're fairly new.
Thank you.
Hey, Jeff, these are all hardwired, right? Everything would be hardwired in?
That's correct.
Anyone else have any questions?
Just a quick question, Mr. Chairman. Jeff, is the you just mentioned that we have remote supervision through our fire company?
That's correct. So if our smoke and fire detectors go off for reasons, obvious of fire or smoke, it first line defense is to notify, fire and EMS.
Okay. And what, did we find they were deficient because of testing?
Yes, we have to annually test for them.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Jeff.
I have one question, Jeff. You said they were hardwired. Is there a battery backup on that?
Correct. Yes, there is.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Schmidt?
Aye.
Ms. Jamino?
Aye.
Mr. Lutner?
Aye.
Mr. Tenza?
Aye.
Mr. Waters?
Aye. Resolution 2020-141, contract in excess of $6,600 to Master Wire Manufacturing Incorporated in the amount of $15,200 to replace fencing at 2 lift stations, Vineyards and Cropwell. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay. Jeff?
Yes, this resolution for Master Wire is to install fencing at the 2 lift stations, the Vineyards and Cropwell lift station. They will be replacing dilapidated old fence, and these new fences will ensure safety and security well into the future.
Does anyone have any questions?
I got a question on that. Hey, Jeff, the Vinelands, notice it's a 6-foot fence going up, and at Cropwell's 8-foot fence going up. Are we going to keep that uniform or standards? What do we have?
Well, we're replacing what's existing because we spoke to the homeowners association as we do these, and we get their input as far as, colors and stuff like that. So we try to keep to what's existing.
Are they chain link or vinyl?
They're vinyl coated.
All
Chain
right.
link.
All right.
Any other questions? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Schmidt,
Aye.
Miss Jamino,
Aye.
Mr. Lutner,
Aye.
Mr. Tenza,
Aye.
Mr. Waters.
Aye. Resolution 2020-144, award of contract in excess of $6,600 to Gem Paving LLC, the amount of $6,985 for a driveway extension and paving at the Vineyards Lift Station. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
I'll second it.
Okay, Jeff?
Yes, this resolution for Gem Paving is to make repairs and install a new driveway that leads up to the Vineyards Lift Station. This is in addition to the existing paving that's already there, and it will allow our operators better access when maintaining and doing maintenance at the site.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Jeff? Being none, please. Oh, George, go ahead.
Jeff,
Sorry.
how far is that extension going?
It's gonna jockey out a little bit. The driveway is I'm gonna say it's probably about 75 to 80 feet long. About halfway down, we're gonna jockey over about another 8 to 10 feet. It's a double gate system that's there, and it'll give us direct access right to our wet well. Currently, we drive in on the grass. So,
All right, the paving that's there already, will they be topping that?
there's no need to. We take care of that ourselves. But any repairs that need to be made, they'll take care of that.
Okay, is that crack seal then? If needed?
We seal our lift stations pretty much regularly, on a yearly or bi-yearly basis.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Any other questions for Jeff? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Schmidt,
Aye.
Miss Jamino,
Aye.
Mr. Lutner,
Aye.
Mr. Tenza,
Aye.
Mr. Waters.
Aye. Executive Director's Report.
Jeff,
Jeff, you're up.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
excuse me,
Yeah.
nothing related to what's on the agenda, but a financial question, and I know we're still in the midst of the pandemic, but I didn't get a chance to go back and check minutes, but I thought we were segregating certain pandemic costs for potential recovery. Is that correct, Laura? Jeff, do you remember that discussion? Potentially through FEMA or something?
Yeah, we track what is qualified as a FEMA reimbursable.
Okay, and we haven't requested reimbursement yet on that?
I don't think it's a complete
Okay,
process
all right.
yet.
I was just, and do we have a ballpark as to what those costs are?
It's been pretty small.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Yep.
Jeff, give your Executive Director's Report.
Sure. We've had 3 water main breaks since October 7th. One was likely due to fire hydrant flushing operations. One was repaired by a contractor, and the other 2 we repaired ourselves. The total number of water main breaks for this year so far is at 15. And so we're on track to have the lowest water main break occurrence since in the last 4 years. So I hope I didn't jinx anything by saying
Yeah, cross our fingers.
yeah. We also had 5 discolored water reports this month. 4 of them were directly related to fire hydrant flushing and geographically located around hydrant flushing. So that's pretty normal. And 1 was transient and not related to hydrant flushing. And we had 1 water odor concern, and we visited the home, the customer for that. On October 23rd, we had a sewer stoppage, which caused a sewer overflow in the Marlton Village area. And the event was reported to the New Jersey DEP. And it was about a 1-hour event from the time of first report to us until it was normal flow was restored. AEA conference, as you've gone to in the past, March and November, they're still going to hold a conference this month. It'll be virtual, obviously, over the Zoom platform. So as you might expect, the price is extremely reasonable as a result of that. So all commissioners have been registered for both days. It's November 12th and 13th. That's a Thursday and Friday. We'll send you the agenda sometime between now and Friday. If for some reason you feel you can't attend, just let us know. We could easily adjust the registration. Employee appreciation, there's no Gibson House available to us this year. So there again, we'll have to, the employee committee will plan a virtual event to continue our tradition of recognizing the value of our employees. So more to comment on that. We've instituted mandatory COVID testing for our operations staff. It's once every 2 weeks for the next 30 days. We'll reassess after 30 days. We so far have gotten the testing, most of us at Burlington County facility in Mount Laurel at parking lot number 9. I highly recommend going there yourself as the Burlington County resident. It just could not be easier. I did it yesterday and I did it around shortly after noon. I had the results this morning emailed to my phone. So it just couldn't be easier. Everything's in great shape. Good.
Good.
Hey, Jeff, with that testing, is that part of reimbursement too, what Lou brought up?
It's free. It was
All right.
It was actually free at the row in Burlington County.
Yeah.
CVS, some of our employees have gone to CVS for testing and they take your health insurance card. So, you know, they might do it once every, I don't know, 4 months, 6 months, whereas we're requiring it once every 2 weeks. The health insurance may deny coverage because there would be no medical necessity based on, you know, normal consumer usage. In that case, they could go to the Rowan, BC, Burlington County, Mount Laurel facility.
My daughter's going tomorrow. She, another third grade class in her building has a set of twins that had symptoms and tested positive. So out of abundance of caution, she's going there as well to be tested.
And it's a saliva test, by the way, so there's no
Yeah.
discomfort whatsoever. It's just easy as pie. And so thank you to Burlington County for doing this. This is a great service to us all. The rate hearing, as you know, is postponed until the December meeting with hopes that we can do this in person. It's our preference to do it in person rather than in the Zoom platform. So our hopes are high that we can do that. But if we can't accomplish that safely, we will have to do it remotely over this platform. I'm glad to report that the trio of PFAS chemicals and trichloropropane, ethyl dibromide, and dibromochloroPropane have all been tested at all of our source wells for 3 quarters so far of 2020, and everything has come up less than detectable limits. And we're talking about parts per trillion. So this is a very sensitive testing methodology, and all of those compounds have come up non-detect for us so far. We still have a 4th quarter to test for 2020, and then we can apply for a reduction in the monitoring because it is rather expensive.
Jeff, can you say those chemicals one more time or 3 times in a row quickly?
And you
Yeah,
spelled them
TCP,
correctly, Ed.
DCP. So there you have it. That's all I have. Any questions?
No, but thank you. I'm glad to hear that the tests are coming up negative on those chemicals.
Good.
If I could add real quickly, Mr. Chairman, one of the water breaks last month was in the neighborhood where Councilman Deanna lives, and he actually called me and was very complimentary of the EMUA staff in repairing that water main break.
Well, that's good to hear.
That's very good to hear.
Anyone else? Okay. Engineers report. Wayne, you're up.
Yes, thank you. Nothing new to report on Southside Water Storage Tank. At the ASR Well Treatment Building, Emerson is scheduled to come in finally on November 30th to wire up the SCADA system. Locust Avenue Pump Station upgrade is substantially complete. That is up and running. The Route 70 water and sewer mains, we're still waiting for easements. The Elmwood wastewater treatment plant resiliency improvements has been advertised for bids. We expect to receive those bids on November 24th.
Okay, and I said we have a motion to approve a proposal from Richard A. Alimo Associates in the amount of $34,500 for construction oversight. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Second, okay. Wayne, any additional information you need to give us on this project?
This is a trust fund project, so all of the extra requirements related to trust fund inspection of records and different forms to be filed, they're all included in this proposal.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Wayne? Yes, Bill.
Wayne, jumped out and hit me. It may have been in prior proposals you've had, but is the socially and economically disadvantaged program part of that too?
Yes, we will be assisting Laura in making sure the contractor complies with those requirements.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, anyone else? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Schmidt,
Aye.
Ms. Jamino,
Aye.
Mr. Lutner,
Aye.
Mr. Tenza,
Aye.
Mr. Waters.
Aye.
The Knox Boulevard water main replacement, water main is all in. The contractor was making some tie-in on Main Street the other day. We have a little bit of an issue with the county and backfill requirements. We're working on that, but contractors moving along. They've pulled back and started doing some more handicap ramp work in the meantime till everything gets squared away with the county.
Okay.
Heritage Village water main replacement, that is essentially done, and you have a resolution here.
Okay. Resolution 2020-142, approval of change order number 2 in the amount of $9,865.99 to MSP Contracting Corp. For Heritage Village water main replacement. Can I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Second.
Okay. Wayne, anything else to add to that?
No, it's basically to cover repair of a leaking valve that they uncovered and some additional work on some curb boxes that became obvious after the work had begun, and then credit back to the EMUA for some damage that they had caused.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Wayne? Seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Schmidt,
Mike, you muted.
I'm sorry about that. Aye.
Ms. Jamino,
Aye.
Mr. Lutner,
Aye.
Mr. Tenza,
Aye.
Mr. Waters.
Aye.
The Elmwood Storage Building is on hold. The tertiary filter rehabilitation work has begun out at Elmwood. The demolition has gone well. We're having some issues with the manufacturer. Hopefully beyond next week, and we'll get that submittal approved, and then the contractor can go ahead with the installation once the equipment's delivered. Wood Lake Drive water main replacement. The water main's in, it still has to be tested correctly, and you have a resolution for a change order.
Resolution 2020-143, approval of change order number 1 in the amount of $5,500 to Pioneer Pipe Contractors Incorporated for Wood Lake Drive water main replacement. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Second, okay.
And
Wayne, do you have anything you need to add?
Yeah, this change order is for the replacement of a hydrant as requested by the, the addition of a hydrant to the job as requested by the authority.
Okay. Does anyone have any questions for Wayne? Okay, seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Schmidt,
Aye.
Ms. Jamino,
Aye.
Mr. Lutner,
Aye.
Mr. Tenza,
Aye.
Mr. Waters.
Aye.
Well, number 7 building, we expect to submit to the DEP for the Bureau of Water Supply Engineering permit this month. So that's design is coming to an end. Greenbrook Drive water main replacement, the contractor is working on that now. The Elmwood Control Building, that's basically finished. We had handed over the drawings to Jeff Booth to work with the code officials. And East Main Street sewer rehabilitation, we have the results of the bidding.
Okay. Resolution 2020-145, award of contract in excess of $40,000 to North American Pipeline Services LLC in the amount of $59,636 for East Main Street sewer lining. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Wayne, do you have anything else
This
to add?
is an excellent price. You had good bidding on this, and we've worked with North American Pipeline before. They do a good job.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have any questions for Wayne?
No.
What are
Yes, Nancy. Go ahead.
the limits on this, Wayne?
The limits, it's just 700 feet. And
Is it Radnor toward Walden
Yes.
in that area?
yes,
Okay.
It's from Willow Bend to Walden.
Oh, that side.
in front
Okay.
of the new funeral home, right?
Okay.
Oh,
Thank you.
All right, any other questions for Wayne? Okay, please call the roll.
Mr. Schmidt,
Aye.
Ms. Jamino,
Aye.
Mr. Lutner,
aye.
Mr. Tenza,
Aye.
Mr. Waters.
Aye.
Mike.
This,
Ed, may I ask a question,
sure, go ahead.
please, of Wayne? Wayne, just Greenbrook Drive. It looks like all the water mains in there.
I believe it is, yes.
I mean, I think they got it done pretty quickly and it seemed like a pretty clean job.
They're a good contractor for pipe, yes. And they'll now test it and get the services in once it passes the tests.
Okay, for the services, are they going to connect to the existing that are under Greenbrook?
Yes.
Thank you.
Are there any other final questions for Wayne? Yes, Byron. Go ahead.
You're mute.
You're on mute, Byron.
Actually, I just wanted to add something, and Nancy was saying that just a statement. I drive up and down Greenbrook to come home, and each time I've noticed that anyone with an MUA shirt on was wearing a mask. They were being safe. Everyone else was keeping distant, and it was really fast and non-interrupted. The traffic flowed just fine. It's a great project.
Yeah,
It was well done, Wayne. Thank you.
You're
it
welcome.
was very good.
Fantastic. Anyone else? Okay, thank you, Wayne.
You're welcome.
Next up, Public comment. Chris, do we have anyone in the queue?
We do not.
Okay, I'm going to close public comment. General counsel's report. Mr. Gillespie, you're up.
Good evening. You have in front of you a resolution 2020-146 that authorizes us to begin making good faith offers and beginning good faith negotiations for the acquisition of the easements on Route 70 for both water and sewer. As you know, you authorized appraisals some time ago. We received those appraisals. We tried to resolve a couple of the easements without making payments. We were successful, I think, in one, maybe two. So the time has come for us to ask your permission to go ahead and make the proposals that are set forth in the appraisals. They're listed on page 2 of the resolution. The total amount is there. It's my understanding that we do have the funds available should these offers be accepted to pay them out. In the event that the good faith negotiations are not successful, this resolution authorizes us to go ahead and file the necessary proceedings in the court to acquire the easement. We would deposit the money, but because good faith negotiations do take a little while, even though it's in here and even though I'm asking for permission now, it's more to be able to get started preparing the pleadings if we see that we're running into a wall with any of these prospective grantors. I would not envision that we would file anything with the courts before your December meeting, and I would come back to you at that point and let you know the exact status of things, and maybe even convene into executive session to tell you where we are. But for this evening, these are the numbers that are set forth in the appraiser's reports. Public entities have an obligation to turn square corners, is the phrase, with the public. And even though, in a normal private setting, if an appraiser told us, this is worth X, we would try and get it for less than X, right?
Sure.
But the Eminent Domain Act does not allow public entities to do that. If X is X, that's what you have to offer.
John, is that one of them Barnes and Noble in there?
It is not.
Okay.
Barnes and Noble is not in there. We had some discussions about that, and Wayne found a way that we actually can use the existing infrastructure. There is no easement for that, but clearly we have infrastructure there. And Nancy had found some plans at Jeff's request at the township that when the developer of the Barnes and Noble site first came into the township for site plan approval, those plans showed where the infrastructure lines were. So there's no question but that the developer, and Barnes and Noble is just a tenant, right? But they all knew there are water and sewer lines on that site. So even though if they did a title search, a deed of easement would not have been found, the plans showed it and they knew it. And so we've kind of decided, at least at this juncture, we don't need to give them a dime. We have other issues that I'll probably again explore with you in December, but we feel that we don't need to give them anything right now.
Thank you very much, John. I appreciate it.
Thank you, George.
Thank you. Yes, Nancy.
Question. And John, I think this might be more for Jeff or Jeff. Why is the right property? Because that's on the other side of the street. That's the gas station. How come we need an easement from them?
I can answer
Wayne has
that.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, Wayne. Thank
Yeah.
you.
The sewer lining work extends onto the other side of the road. So we do a little bit of sewer lining from Conestoga over towards G-Boys. It's just falls short of the G-Boys property.
Okay, thank you. I knew the water was the other side. That's why I was confused on that one. Thanks.
Anyone else have any questions? Yes, Byron.
So, John, was there, just a matter of procedure, going down the highway along the easement, was there an amount that we were prepared to pay them before there was a new person in that role on the Barnes and Noble side?
I don't know that there was an amount we were willing to pay them. Look, there is a nuisance value to everything to avoid having to go to court or to avoid a fight. So I think what we were looking to Barnes and Noble to do was, because there was existing infrastructure, we just didn't know where it was, but we knew it was there. Until Nancy found the plans, we didn't know where.
Yeah.
And we thought that with a company like Barnes and Noble, or it's the owner of the property, they would simply recognize the benefit of this project as improving the existing infrastructure and probably appreciate that. I mean, Wawa did this. We went back and forth with Wawa over language and, accessibility and so on and so forth for when we do the work. But Wawa, it's a $1 consideration, right? So we were hopeful that the Barnes and Noble site might yield the same result. It didn't. So that's where we are.
All right, thanks.
Nancy, nice work on that, Nance.
Yeah, very nice work.
Thank you.
Was that somebody blowing a horn for Nancy? I heard that horn.
It's a vuvuzela.
Like a hockey game.
Sound like a real tag team approach.
Does anybody else have any questions? Okay, John?
That's it, Mr. Chairman. Just a request that the commissioners consider adopting the resolution.
Okay. We don't have one, but so that's for the future, right? Or we have a
You
resolution?
do.
146.
146. It's right under,
No, why don't I have that on my?
or 147 rather. Oh, yeah, 146.
No, 146.
146.
146.
Okay, can I have a motion to adopt resolution 2020-146?
So
moved. Second.
Okay. John, do you have anything else you need to add?
No, sir. Thanks very much.
Okay, can I please call the roll?
Mr. Schmidt,
Aye.
Ms. Jamino,
Aye.
Mr. Lutner,
Aye.
Mr. Tenza,
Aye.
Mr. Waters.
Aye. John, are we doing executive session?
We do not. We put that on there in case any of you had questions that I would not be able to answer in public regarding the just adopted resolution. So that was all it was for. So we can dispense with that. Thank you.
Okay. We have, next up is resolution 2020-148, resolution of censure. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
I have a second.
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 Okay. All right. Does somebody reading this, or do we just, sorry. Are we just taking questions and comments?
I'd like to make a comment.
Sure, Luke, go ahead.
First of all, I disagree with the censure. When I ran for school board, it was a requirement to have a weekend's worth of training. And then that training was renewed every year and then every other year. That training, other than a couple of seminars that were mentioned in the resolution, there was no training provided. What was provided by Mr. Rollins was the policy and procedure and the Board of Commissioners handbook. And the Board of Commissioners handbook is primarily a regurgitation of those same policies and procedures. I wouldn't really call it a handbook because there's no true guidance and no true discussion of training. And in this particular instance, no discussion of Oprah. So that's one issue. And clearly, and I think I said this previously, some of the language was over the top. Do I regret that? Yes, without a doubt. I've said to the chairman on more than one occasion that I'm using this as a learning experience and I'm moving on. I don't think there's anybody that is on here right now that has not used that language, either in private or in any other public settings. And we're all adults. So I understand where that goes. I do want to bring up basically two overall comments, issues, threads, if you will. One of the things I brought up, one of the first things I brought up was an accident that happened that was not mentioned in the executive director's report. And that was the lawn mowing incident cutting the high voltage line. I later followed up with that about whether the individual involved was actually drug tested, as our policy and procedure does. As a matter of fact, in the censure, it regurgitates in the Code of Ethics 4B, authority board members shall not become actively involved in administrative and operations issues that are the responsibility of management, except to monitor the results and ensure that procedures are consistent with board policy. I'd say that all my questions regarding safety were indeed that, especially in this particular instance. And I've said before, safety is not a judgment issue. Safety is not for one and not for another. It has to be consistently applied across the board. And I felt I've lived up to that. And that's the area. To me, it's safety, safety, safety. It's not about the amount of accidents we've had. It's about a mindset and a culture. So the other area that I want to touch on is our fiduciary responsibility to our ratepayers. The questions that I asked regarding various issues, legal, shared services and the like, were what I felt was my fiduciary responsibility to our ratepayers as a commissioner. I don't have any day-to-day oversight of the employees. I'm not a manager of any of the employees. I'm not on the personnel committee. I don't understand some of the language in here in that I disagree with it. Specifically citing potential retaliation. I'm not in a position to be in any retaliatory position. Number one, I'm an alternate. I think I've only voted twice in almost 2 years. And I disagree with that. There were other statements that I made that are public knowledge. They're out there. I've talked about consistency in implementing procedures. I've talked about fiduciary responsibility to our ratepayers. And I think I've been consistent throughout. I'll reiterate. Did I use some language that shouldn't have been used? Yes, I did. But there's this new technology that we have called erasers that they put on pencils. And we all know why erasers are there. So with all of that in mind, again, I say that safety is not a judgment and it should be followed. And I've previously said, and you've read on these Oprah documents, that I talked about circling the wagons. I've personally felt from nearly day one that there was an attitude of status quo. And the questions that I came up with got into that and wanted to change the status quo. And that has nothing to do with people. That has to do with change. Change is never easy. Change is hard. And I may be one person saying that, but I'm going to continue to say that. I'm going to chip away at where I think we can do better. Just because we did something some way in the past doesn't mean it should be the way we should continue to do that in the future. And the last comment I will make is that I understand you're going to urge me to resign. I will tell you right now, I plan on completing my term, and I do not plan to resign. I hope before you vote on this, you would consider those statements, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Lou. Does anyone else have anything to say on this resolution?
No.
Okay, seeing none, please call the roll.
Mr. Schmidt,
Aye.
Was there a
Ms.
motion made?
Domino,
Time out. Excuse me.
Sorry.
Was there,
Yes.
was there a motion made?
Yes.
Okay, my apologies.
Ms. Jamino,
Aye.
Mr. Lutner,
Aye.
Mr. Tenza,
Aye.
Mr. Waters.
Aye. Board comments. Let's see, who, Byron, why don't you start us off?
All right, so let's see, there was, I suppose we're at a safety, we're remote again, so I hope for, a good fall and winter, for, safety from the pandemic. Maybe coming out of this, next season or two, we come up with a vaccine and we'll all be safe again. So everybody, just keep diligent and keep safe. And I commend, Jeff, your extraordinary effort to traceability and testing. I wish everybody was as careful as you. You probably saved a lot of people. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Byron. Lou, you want to go next?
I don't have any.
Thank you. Let's see, who's next? Al?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would just like to echo Byron's comments concerning the tracing and the testing with COVID. I think it's been managed very, very well. And certainly my compliments to Jeff and the staff. Also, I think there's been a great deal of work that's been accomplished since last spring with water main replacement. And I want to congratulate the staff on all that work that's been completed. And now we've got Greenbrook Drive that's nearing completion. So my compliments on a great job. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thanks, Al. Mike?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll be brief. I also agree with the comments that have been made previously about Jeff and our leadership team at the MUA. Handling the COVID issues and cases that have come up with our employees. I appreciate the updates and the proactive approach that we're taking for our employees. Hopefully safety is and health will be at the forefront of everything we do. And I thank everyone on our staff for what they're doing during these really crazy times with the pandemic. I also just very quickly on the engineering side with Wayne, I really appreciated your report tonight, your comments, but also the documents that you provided for us. I found it to be very helpful in looking at how we're doing, what the status of our projects are, I should say. To John, thank you for really leading us well on the whole issue with the easements. I know that's not an easy thing to do. The entities that you're working with have different agendas and interests. And thank you for carrying that on behalf of the MUA.
Thank you.
The way you have. So,
Thanks, Mike.
And last but not least, just some decisions we make as MUA. We have a responsibility to our employees, our ratepayers, all of us on this board, to do the appropriate actions. And the things that we voted on tonight, I think we've done that, and I hope we continue that in the future. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. Nancy?
Yes, thanks, Mr. Chairman. I think my first question though, before I get to my comments is, it will depend upon how we're going with COVID right now, if we have an in-person for the next meeting, mostly because of the rate hearing.
Yes, yeah, we'll monitor the situation, and then we can make a decision as we get closer to whether we move forward with an in-person board meeting or whether we make it remote. Again, Jeff and I've had multiple conversations about this, and I just feel like if we're going to do a rate hearing to the best of our ability, I'd like to do it in person. I think it just is, so that people can see us. We're all together for the most part. But then obviously there's just folks that due to health issues can't come. They'll be on the video. But I think that for that meeting, it absolutely should be, unless of course something happens that precludes us from being able to do that.
And I really agree wholeheartedly that it's best to have it in person, but it's concerning the way things are going now. So, which leads me into my comments then. Again, just to Jeff and all the management team, I really do appreciate the way that you've kept on top of the COVID, the way you've addressed it, but also the way that you have set an example for the employees by you yourselves getting tested, not just the employees. So, we lead by example, and I think that you all do lead by great example. I want to thank Jeff and Laura for always taking the time to answer all my questions. I may not always ask them during a meeting, but I ask them prior to, and you always allot me the time that I need to get the answers to it. One thing I would like to say, I think it's very hard to say that anyone on this management team does anything as a status quo. I find that between Jeff and Laura and Jeff, they're very innovative and they're always on top of everything. So there is no status quo. I believe in the whole MUA hierarchy and personnel. I also just want to reiterate that my staff at work probably hears every day, just because we've done it like that in the past, that's not the way we have to go forward. And I don't think that that is the way that this authority operates at all. I think they're very innovative and make sure that we do use the best methods and means to get anything done. And for that, I just would like to say, everyone, thank you to Wayne and John. These easements have been long going and we're moving forward, and hopefully this job that I think was supposed to be done about 5 years ago may get done in the next 2. And please, everybody, stay safe, and let's hope that this virus does leave us sometime.
Thanks, Nancy. George.
It's tough following all this one. Everything I was going to say was said already. Jeff, Laura, the staff is unbelievable. Jeff, our meeting the other day, very fruitful, worked out well. Looking forward to the next one. I want to thank you for signing us up for the AEA. There's always good information for us commissioners to view. I'm looking forward to see it and go from there. Everybody stay safe, stay well, and keep your family safe.
Thanks, George. And I will.
John, thank you also. And Chris for putting this together. Wayne, everybody, we're a team. I mean, we should be in the Super Bowl. We have such a good thing together. Everybody brings something to the table, and that's always good. Thank you again. I'm finished.
We could beat the Giants.
Well,
yeah. Good night, John Boy.
Low bar.
Doesn't say much.
I was going to say, George, don't mention the MUA and a bowl in the same sentence. I just want to say thank you to everyone for your thoughtfulness tonight. Thank you to the staff, to the professionals, all your hard work. I do want to say thank you to Jeff Rollins. He and I have spent a considerable amount of time speaking over the last couple of weeks, especially as it pertains to the COVID issues, and making sure that we're doing everything that we can and pivoting where we need to pivot to address those concerns and make sure that we protect our workforce and that we keep them healthy, and making sure we're talking to the employees and ensuring that they and suggestions that they may have that we're looking to incorporate because they're the boots on the ground. They're the folks that have to implement these things. We in the next couple of meetings, George and I will give you a report. The Personnel Committee has met with the unionized employees. We're in process of setting up meetings with the office staff, the supervisors, and then the management team. And then we'll come back and report back to the board as to what came out of those meetings. Stay safe, everyone. Appreciate all your hard work. And on that note, our next board meeting is December 2nd, 2020. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Bless you, Nancy.
Sure.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Which reminds me, the next meeting being December. Happy Thanksgiving. I can't believe
yeah.
we're
Yeah,
saying
that's
that already.
Everybody stay
Be
safe.
safe
Yeah.
and be well, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanksgiving, everyone. Good night.
Happy Thanksgiving.
John, I want to
Happy
thank my
Thanksgiving to all. Good night.
Take care.
Good night.